good, YouTube? It's your boy, the All-Star Transporter again. Heading into Jersey as we speak. Getting ready to start this week after a long weekend. I figured I'd talk to y'all a little about if the ports are for you. So y'all stay locked in. .40 in the morning, just pulling into one of the container yards for the port. As you can see, a bunch of guys already here. Anybody that runs the ports know, the earlier you get here, the better. You know, it only gets busier from here on out. Look at this. Not even open yet. There's probably maybe 20, 30 trucks in here already. Still in here, sun coming up, trying to get unloaded. They're gonna leave from here and head somewhere else. It's part of that port life, you know? All these boxes. A lot of freight being moved to these places. Alright, global terminals, man. Anybody that know New York, New Jersey ports, this place could be a hit or a miss. You could be here for hours or you could be here for minutes. I wonder if today's one of those days I'm here for minutes. Let's see. A lot of money moving through these places. A lot of drivers. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Consistent work in these ports, people. Boy, oh boy, what a nasty day to be at work. Woo, let me tell you. Weather is shitty, but this money still got to be made. Look at all that freight moving next to me. Oh man, look at all them guys. Well, while I sit here waiting to get loaded, which it looks like it's going to be a pretty quick one, I figure I'll talk to y'all about the ports. Predominantly New York, New Jersey ports. Because, you know, that's what I run. Now, a lot of people in the trucking community have their opinions on port work. And I'm just going to give my opinion on if the ports are for you. You know? Now, there's the pros and the cons of running the ports. I'm not gonna lie. And a lot of people overlook the pros and pretty much looks at the cons as to why they shouldn't do the port work. So just jumping right in, from my opinion, if you've done over the road, you've done dock to dock deliveries, no touch freight, you know, dropping hooks, you're not gonna like the ports. I'm just gonna be straight up with you. You're not gonna like the ports. The biggest con to the port is the waiting around. There's always long lines to get in. There's always that wait time between the cranes because these guys get paid by the hour. So a lot of them, you know, they don't really care about your time. They'll see you there waiting and they'll be texting on their phones and have you waiting hours. You know, you do one mistake in the port, can cost you hours. You know, if you take a wrong turn, then you got to leave the port, go back around, make the line again, just to go to the kiosk, which in its own is a journey. So, my opinion to those guys that's over the road that do those dock to dock, dropping hook accounts, you're not going to like this because it's a lot of waiting around. It's a lot of money being lost just sitting idling throughout the day. Another con to the port. It beats your trucks up. A lot of these loads out of the ports are heavy. These containers tare weight is 80-something hundred pounds for these 40 foots. So at 80-something hundred pounds plus cargo, you're pushing your maximum gross allowed on a lot of this cargo. So just imagine. Oh, wait, let me check back in with y'all, getting loaded. Now I have to say, today is a good port day. Not only am I loaded within minutes of entering, but I'm also 20,000 pounds today. Can't beat that. All right, back to the topic on hand. Another downside of running the ports is more of a financial downside. It's a lot more expensive to get your own authority inside of the ports and run the ports, booking loads and dealing with brokers that do intermodal. So a lot of guys do not have their own authorities running the ports, which is a downside because it limits the way you can negotiate the rate of these freight. A lot of these companies that lease on owner-operators for the port usually give a flat rate for a certain account. For instance, if you're going to run from New York to New Jersey or vice versa, they set a flat rate at a certain dollar amount that they think that run is worth, and it limits your ability as the owner of this company with this truck to negotiate that freight rate. You know, they put it inside the contract when they lease you on that this is the accounts you're running, this is how much the accounts pay, and that's the flat rate. So there's no negotiating with any brokers for any more money because you feel like, oh, this load is worth a little bit more or whatever the case may be. So that's a big downside to running the ports. However, don't get me wrong, a lot of these companies, majority of them, are paying fair rate for running the ports. A lot of these companies are paying $3 and up a mile for their accounts. So don't let that scare you off. Yeah, you're not gonna get $5-6 a mile, but you're getting well over $2 a mile, $2.50 a mile to run these freights. Now, the upside to the port is the biggest upside in my opinion, the home time. Home every day. The ports are predominantly local jobs, and it gets you home every day and on weekends. The ports are Monday to Friday operations, with some being open on Saturdays. So that means you have an office job, basically. You come out in the morning, you run your load, drop your empty, do what you need to do, and you're home in the afternoons. In my case, I typically work 8 to 12 hours a day, running 300 or so miles round trip, doing one load a day, and I'm done. Get my money, I'm good, I bring it in for the day. Some days is less, you know, depending on traffic. So that is the greatest upside. For all my guys that's over the road and you're looking to make a change, to spend some more time with your family, and you're, you know, willing to just settle back a little bit, the ports can be a great way as an owner-operator to keep some money coming in and also give you the ability to spend time with your family, a lot more time with your family, as opposed to 3 out, 1 in, you know. So that's the greatest upside. Another upside to it, the mileage. I just stated I do 300 miles round trip on my truck daily. A lot of guys are not even leaving that 150 mile radius running the ports of New Jersey. So just imagine 1,200, 1,300 miles a week on your truck is a pretty big benefit when it comes to maintaining your truck. Yeah, the loads are heavy, but you're also not going far distances that would allow you to have to keep doing your oil changes, having to change parts out. You know what I mean? It gives you a longer time between your services. So that is a big benefit of being in this type of trucking. You know what I mean? And another large benefit of this type of trucking is the consistency of work. Now, the last few months, the freight market has taken a hit. And being in a port, I have to say, the work has still been here. The ports have still been busy. The lines have still been long. People have still been able to feed their family week in and week out. And I can speak from a personal experience. While I watch other guys, a lot of YouTubers, a lot of personal people sitting for weeks at a time trying to figure out what load to take next, and loads are not paying great, I've been able to work a minimum of 3 to 4 days a week, being able to provide for my family, keep my business up and running, and I'm grateful for that. And that's all because the port is such a busy place. There's thousands and thousands of containers that come in the ports daily. And out here in New York, New Jersey, there are 5 major ports that we deal with. So just imagine, you don't have work in one, you have 4 other ports that work can come out of. And this is coming from an owner and operator that only does one account. I do one dedicated account. So imagine the guys that are roaming around from account to account in the company that I am. They will always have work, and that's something to take into consideration when you're trying to decide what type of trucking you're trying to get into. I figure I'll let y'all know a little bit about the ports, the benefits, the disadvantages of doing this kind of port trucking, and everything is solely just my opinion. I'm only speaking from what I know. I've never been over the road. I've only been local, company driver, and now owner-operator running the ports. So I speak on what I know, and I speak on information that I gained from other truckers in the trucking community. And I just want to use this platform to inform people, give people options. You know what I mean? I just want to be able to just give my 2 cents on what I'm experiencing out here on a day-to-day basis. YouTube is a platform that has helped a lot of people, myself included, get where they are. Without it, I don't think I'd be sitting in this chair right now in my own truck with a load behind me. You know what I mean? It's a nasty day out, but here I am comfortable in my rig, getting ready to go drop my load and call it a day. So y'all lock in with me. In a future video, I'll talk about getting your authority and some of the things you may need to get your own authority, as far as just running over the road and as far as running in the ports. All right, this is your boy, the All-Star Transporter, checking out.